Hi, welcome to the April monthly mentor meeting makeup video. We're glad you're here and able to use this tool of the video to meet the requirement for the April mentor meeting, but also to get the information that we're sharing. So today what we're going to talk about in this video is that all mentors will review the year and be able to provide program feedback. Receive information regarding the mentoring and action requirement, 2024-25, some exciting changes for next year. Address nuts and bolts and talk about the end of the year. So for the connector, and this is how we're going to judge attendance or take attendance, is practicing mentor language through sharing ideas and brainstorming together. When the mentors were met in person, they got together and they talked about these things. You're going to reflect in your head with yourself and share with us via a Padlet. So the process is, one, you're going to read How to Refine Your Teaching Practice with Springtime Reflection. And there's a QR code for that, so you can just put your camera up and open up the article. It's short. But it also leads us into the idea of springtime reflections, okay? And then once you've read that, you're going to go to the springtime reflections on the Padlet, and please be sure to add your name on your reflection, because this is how attendance for the video, for this whole video meeting, is going to be taken. And the links will be in your Google Classroom, as well as having the QR code right there. So there is a slideshow. If you look at the QR code and open that, there'll be a slideshow. But the Padlet will look like this when you open it. And what I would like you to do is read what everybody's done and add your own, okay? And you can like what they've done or add, but make sure your name is on here so that I see it, okay? Alrighty, and the slideshow is just really kind of a neat little presentation of all of these comments. So this is how I'm getting feedback from you at this meeting about our program. So that's me getting feedback from you. One of the other things we need to do is for me to be able to provide feedback to you, okay, about your mentoring. So one of the stipulations from our site visit, as you know, was that within 1 year, Chino Valley Unified School District's teacher induction program will provide evidence demonstrating that mentors are evaluated, retained, and recognized in a systematic manner, including feedback on their work and establishment of collaborative relationships. Because that addresses the induction standard number 6 that says the program must regularly assess the quality of services provided by mentors to candidates. Induction program leaders must provide formative feedback to mentors on their work, including establishment of collaborative relationships. So the collaborative relationships are how well you and your candidate get along and how you interact. I need to be able to do this in a somewhat quantifiable, systematic way, okay, to provide evidence. So what I developed in collaboration with other induction programs, or I don't know if in collaboration is the right word, after researching through conversations with other induction program directors who use GoReact to provide mentor feedback, came up with this system, okay, to where you can do a 10-minute, submit a 10-minute snippet of your mentoring conversation with your candidate in GoReact. You upload it, and I can provide individual feedback this way. The posting in Google Classroom says a concrete way is to observe a mentor in the process of providing support for their induction candidate. The purpose of this assignment is for the program coordinator to be able to observe this process and provide feedback using a rubric based on the Mentor Standard 1. The mentor facilitates and advances the professional, excuse me, the mentor facilitates and advances the professional learning of each teacher to increase student learning. Okay, there is a rubric for it that's posted in Google Classroom. It looks like this. It addresses two elements. Mentors use reflective conversation to help the candidate grow professionally. And there's a continuum of mentor development going from developing, proficient, accomplished, and distinguished. And it kind of parallels pretty much what the candidates, similar structure to what the candidate's rubric or continuum looks like. Okay, and remember a continuum, we're up and down on it, okay? Whereas a rubric is kind of like, yeah, you want to get to the top. A continuum, it slides, okay? The other element is that the mentor uses reflective conversation skills to engage the teacher in collaborative problem solving and reflective thinking to promote self-directed learning that results in student learning. Because remember, that's our bottom line is student learning, right? All the time. So one of the things I wanted to point out is that you have these 4 categories, and it's mentor development. Sometimes, depending on what you're doing with the candidate, depending on where the candidate's at, it is going to show kind of where you're at, right? So there might not be, in the snippet that you give me, there might not be opportunity that the mentor strengthens repertoire of reflective conversation skills and moves fluidly among mentoring strategies to promote candidate confidence and autonomy. So, you might not need to fluidly change between mentoring strategies in the snippet that you give me, and that's okay. Okay? The big thing is that I'm able to just kind of be a fly on a wall and look and see how you are related to your candidate, how you guys are working together, and provide a little bit of feedback on that based on this. I am not looking at everything. I'm just kind of looking at your conversation skills. Okay? The other thing I wanted to talk to you about was that in the MOU from this year, we did talk about feedback that you'd be open to feedback. So if you look down at the bottom of the MOU, it says, I understand that I'm expected to set professional mentor goals and will receive formative feedback on my work. Okay, so that was this year's. To make it more explicit for next year, we're doing it like this. It's coming, I promise. Where it says, I understand that I'm expected to set professional mentor goals, submit a digital mentoring in action video for formative feedback on my work by the program director. Okay, so that's one of the things that's going to be happening next year. We're doing it this year. This year's a transition year, kind of a piloting year, to see how it works, to be able to get it together. But that's kind of where we're headed with this. All right? Okay. And so I wanted to explain and clarify some of that assignment. And everybody who's submitted so far, it's wonderful. I'm really, really enjoying it. So that leads us into mentor reflections, right? So one of the things I want to take you into and think about phases of first-year teachers' attitudes towards teaching, okay? From surviving to thriving. And I think you've seen this graphic before. And I wanted to kind of remind you that while not every teacher goes through this exact sequence, understanding these phases is a useful way to support new teachers and for us to think about where they're at right now. If you look at this roller coaster, you're going to see that in April and May, the time for reflection is upon us, as we're wrapping up the school year and everything. And this article right here, you can click on it, or it's linked, and I think I put the QR code there. So it's phases of first year teaching. Let's get it to you. There you go. From surviving to thriving. And this is from the New Teacher Center. And it talks about all the different stages, right, that it shows you. But where you're at right here, reflection in May and June, thinking about where we've been and where the teacher's been and where they've come from and where they're going. And as you look at that continuum that you co-assess your mentor on, not the mentor one, the one that you used with the teachers, right? They can visually see where they've been and where they're going with this reflection, okay, or where they've come to. So over the course of the year, it's really visual when you do that. And that leads into goal setting for the next year. All right? So when we do that, it's kind of helps the teachers develop the habits of mind and practices that make them successful, reflective teachers. So at the end of the year, well, this is a snapshot of the last inquiry, all the tasks that they did in the last inquiry. And they should be finishing that up, and everything should be documented on the ILP, right? And then the thing you're going to do is the post co-assessment with the teachers. You're going to do, this is year one, a post co-assessment, and that's a time, remember, we talked about reflection for the teachers. So that's a time for the teachers to reflect on some of the things that they've been doing, where they were and where they're at right now. They are going to share that with me in a flip reflection. So it's a video recording, 2.5 minutes long, of just saying their teaching in context, their goals, what they've learned, how their goals and their participation in induction impacted their students. And then I can do a virtual response. But this is easy for year one teachers. They can do it whenever it's easy and good for them. I can respond whenever I can. Okay, so that's kind of how we end up year one with the year one teachers. And then the colloquium is in May. Okay. And then the flip reflection, this is the assignment, and there's a link there in the year one candidates for them to go to it. You don't have to do that with them. You might want to just remind them about it if you want to look at the prompts and help them discuss and then let them do it. You can do this however you want. It's one that's intended for them to do on their own. However, if you want, you can, help them with it a little bit. You can please check on and make sure they did it though, okay? And the year two people, instead of doing the flip response like they did last year, they're going to meet with me one-on-one. And it's kind of an end of the program coordinator conference. Sometimes it's sort of like an exit interview, okay? And I've asked them to sign up with this link, and it goes straight to the calendar. So, so they'll be able to sign up. It'll go right to their calendar. They don't have to wait for me to send them an invite. And it's like the last 2 weeks of school. And I think I even have some dates after the week after school's out, so that, if they're too busy right then, they can meet with me at the end. Okay. And I'll be asking them similar questions to what I'm asking the year one people, but having the conversation about that. And it's a time for them to be able to give me some, program feedback too. I wanted to share with you the the times that I meet with the candidates, so personally, right? So in year one, I meet with the year one people at the very beginning. I have 3 focus meetings with them in a group over the course of the year. I meet with them individually mid-year, and I'll get a flip reflection from them at the end, a video, okay, recording. I like the video recording better than just answering questions because I get to see their face. And it helps me, because I don't meet with them weekly like you do, it helps me get to see who is giving me this reflection, okay? I can put a name with a face. In year two, the year two people will start with a back to school video because they kind of know the deal, right? And then we are going to have 3 focus meetings per year with them again. We'll meet one-on-one mid-year. So mid-year, I meet with everybody, okay? And then I'll have an exit interview at the end of the year. And all along, you're meeting with them weekly. So they should be getting about an average of an hour a week of meetings with you. So about 30 hours over the course of the year, in addition to the time and the hours that they meet with me, either individually or as a group. Okay, so that's kind of like showing the support structure that the candidates get over the course of the year. Okay, this is kind of exciting. So we're done talking about candidates, we're done talking about mentors. We're going to talk about some changes that are works in progress, but I wanted to give you a teaser look at them for next year. We are going to have 2 resources. This is going to be CVUSD Teacher Induction Program Resource Hub, and we are also going to have Google Classroom, but we're going to have both. Okay, Google Classroom will be for submissions, and the website will be a virtual hub for assignments, resources, and information. Okay, I'm really excited about it. I think that it's going to be easier, or I don't have any problems with Google Classroom, but I wrote Google Classroom. I think this is going to be easier for you. So instead of scrolling all the time and looking and digging in, you're going to be able to click on, and then that'll take you more to where you want to be. Okay, so it's going to look like this, and there's a place for mentor resources and candidate resources. And then there's a calendar, but it takes a little while for this to come up because right now I have too much stuff going on my computer. But this is like this year's calendar. Then what we'll have is for next year's up here. And I wanted you to see that at one page, the tab at the bottom is the mentors. The second one has the candidate schedule. So it's both are here, but you can click and see where they are, okay? And then on the second page, you're going to have, it's about the program overview, there'll be handbook, all these things, right? This will be linked to our district induction page, but there'll be a link for them to come here. So if people are interested and want to know about the program, this will tell them, okay? That's sort of a thing. The vision, the org chart, the flow chart for newly hired teachers are, the process that we go through when we hire new people. Okay, and on the third page right now, we've got candidate resources. I put candidate resources first just because, we want the candidates to be able to know where they're at. We haven't done much with this yet. There's an early completion page, and this would only be for the, the new year one people. And it tells you, how it goes and what to do. And all these things will be linked for them to get to them. Mentor resources. This is the page that you will probably use the most. Okay. And it'll have the mentor tools. And you're going to be able to, where the core tools are, you can go to it. we have a visual here about the way it goes over the course of the year, graphic organizers, and then it tells you all the tools. And so we have the ILP, and it tells you about the ILP, and then there's a sample ILP, and then there's the ILP itself, that, you know, the tool that you can click on. The co-assessment is the same setup. There's a little slideshow here that shows you the process, a link to the continuum, or the CSTP placemat with the links for all the continuum elements, and then about the triad meeting, and the same thing with the tool right here. Okay, so that's the core tools. And then if you go back and context for teaching, it will have, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Right here, it will have the context of teaching tools, and it gives you a little blurb about that. And then it talks about the different, and these will all be linked to the tools. Okay. And then if you go back and lesson planning tools, the same thing. I have to click on it. Where is it? Right here. Lesson planning tools will take you to them. And then observation tools, and then continuing with the mentor ILP, ILP resources, and then we'll have the Go React information up here too. Okay. So then at the end, we have a calendar again. And so the calendars will be here, and as well as being on the first page. Okay, so what do you think? Pretty cool, huh? Hopefully, you know, we'll have it all fleshed out before the beginning of the school year. Well, we'll have to. Well, this is what we'll be working on through May and going into summertime, getting all those links, getting all those things up. And then what we'll do is go back and we'll do next year's Google Classroom will be really mostly only for submissions. Okay, so being able to submit. The links, the numbers of the assignments will be the same, so that you can click on it in Google on the website. It'll give you the directions. It'll tell you what to do. You can submit it with the corresponding assignment in Google Classroom. I did some research before we got started on this, and one of the things that I learned is that, and it makes sense, that you can have Google Classroom and you don't have to have a website. However, having a website like this, it's more user-friendly, and you can get more information, get to where you want to go maybe a little bit faster, because we're kind of used to this format right now. But you can't just have, if you're a teacher or if you're doing something where there are submissions, you can't just have the website, because there's no way to collect anything. And if you're collecting paper, that's fine, but we're not. We're collecting things digitally. So, and the candidates are making an electronic portfolio, and the mentors are having, you know, their electronic submissions. So that's in Google Classroom. All right. So anyway, I'm real excited. I think it looks great. Amanda Array has been working on it. If you see her, tell her thank you that you're, you know, and if you have ideas or suggestions, you know, please either tell Amanda or let me know, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, so that's one exciting thing for next year. So please stay tuned for updates. Okay, kind of winding down here, talking about nuts and bolts. So attendance for observing this video and getting the information, please make sure your name is on the Padlet with your reflection. Okay, and for the end of the year, please have all the candidate submissions in by May 10th. Please let the coordinator know if your candidate will need until the end of the school year. Okay, because really the work should be done while they're in the classroom, but I know those reflections and things, but you'll be done, and they can wrap it up, finish it up, and get things submitted. Please check with them and make sure they've got things submitted. Okay. Mentors also, please submit slides or videos here, and you can use that QR code to get to where the slides are for our slideshow for the the, I would say awards banquet, not for the awards banquet, for the colloquium. Okay, let me see. I'm going to show you right here what some of the ones that have been submitted already. Okay, that QR code, and there's a link in Google Classroom, and it will take you to this album, and you can add things to it. And we will be putting that together for slideshow for the banquet, which I'm really excited about. Okay, look how neat this looks. Okay, and the colloquium, please join us for our colloquium. It is going to be, where's the date? 4 to 7 p.m. It's May 13th, and I don't have the date on there. Oh my gosh. May 13th, Monday, May 13th from 4 to 7 p.m. and the address, and then there's an RSVP right there. I will make the correction and get the date up there. So in your Google Classroom, it's the correct date is there, okay? It's Monday, May 13th, and it is from 4 to 7 p.m. It's at the PDC2. There's the address. And there is the QR code for the RSVP or the link address, and it's easy enough to where you should be able to just remember it and put it in if you want to do it, that way. All right? We're looking forward to seeing you. It's catered, remember, so we're going to have pasta, I think, and we have a speaker, and we will have some celebrations and a lot of stuff going on. So it's going to be fun, okay? So remember, teaching is really about inspiration, not information. Effective teaching focuses on why and how, not what, right? We're teaching them to fish, okay? Not giving them the fish. We're not feeding them. We're giving them the fish. We're teaching them to fish, right? The goal should be to spark each student's imagination, to find a hook in their heart and mind so that they feel a need to learn the material. And that's motivation. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. So what I want to say to you is thank you for all the work that you do with your candidates. You guys are the heart of the induction program. And you have no idea how I value you and the work that you do. So just know that you guys are the heart of induction. All right? Thank you very much. Have a good rest of your school year, and I will see you on May 13th. Bye.